Hi guys, my name's Amelia and today's video is all about my tragus piercing. So if you want to know some frequently asked questions or like how much did it hurt, how long did it take to heal, how I helped it in its healing process, then just keep on watching. And here's just a little disclaimer just before I get into the video. I am by no means a professional, so if you have any like genuine medical concerns, go to your local piercer, go to your local GP. Don't rely on me if you have actually like any like diseases or infections going on, because I can't help, because like I'm not qualified. And also I am only speaking from my personal experience with a tragus piercing. So with that being said, let's get right on with the video. I got my tragus piercing in April of 2018 when I was 17 years old at Doc Black Ink in Newcastle upon Tyne, and you guys know how much I love Doc Black Ink. Like, it's so clean, so professional, they use the right equipment, it's just beautiful. And funny story actually, I got my tragus pierced on the morning before a 6-hour shift. Doc Black, where I get my piercings, was like opposite to the place I used to work, so it was a dream for me. And yeah, I went there just before a 6-hour shift with my best friend. It was all red, hot and swollen all the way through that shift. It was a nightmare, but it was totally worth it. The price was £22, I believe, but this will obviously differ from where you go. It will differ what jewellery you use to get it pierced with, and how professional the piercer is. So just check with the piercer beforehand, check online for the prices, and just try and weigh out your options. They used a hollow needle to pierce my tragus, and the jewellery they used was a 12mm stainless steel Labret stud. So the actual stud they use is quite long, just so it allows room for any swelling that might occur when it's healing, because it does sometimes swell. But the one I got was just the cheapest one there, just very plain, just stainless steel, silver, just very standard, because I'm just a plain bitch. Obviously the ball on the end is not silver at the moment, and I did have to change it, but I've kept the actual stud the same all the way through the healing process, just because I don't really want to take it out. I never really like changing my piercings anyway, because I don't know, I just don't see any need to. If I've already paid like £23 for that like stud, I don't see the point. But I did have to change the ball, and I'll get into that later. And now for what probably all of you have been waiting for, was how much did it hurt? And on the pain scale, where I rated my rook an 8 out of 10 and my lobe a 2 out of 10, so just keep that in mind, I would say this was about a 5 out of 10 on my pain scale. And just consider that I do have a somewhat high pain tolerance just for sharp pains. Like, if someone punched me in the face, I'd go crying, but you know. Regardless, it's a cartilage piercing, so the area is quite tough and gristly, so it's quite hard to pierce through. And I thought it hurt, but it wasn't unbearable like my rook. On the other hand, when the piercer pierced my tragus, I heard a pop, and it was like disgusting, but apparently this is normal when getting a tragus piercing, and my friend said she heard the same thing. But this is just something to consider if you're a little bit squeamish, like you might not want to like have that experience. Your blood sugar levels will drop after you get pierced, so I felt a little bit lightheaded after getting it done, which is normal. So just a little tip beforehand, go and buy yourself some sweets and have them ready for after you have gotten your piercing, just to bring your blood sugar levels back to normal. And now for healing. Healing was a little bit awkward. I couldn't sleep on it for a couple of weeks after, and the friggin' ball kept falling off, because I don't think the piercer like screwed the ball on tight enough. Well, I don't blame them, it's a tiny little ball you have to like use, and I couldn't do it. And I have the irrational fear of my jewellery falling into my ear and going into like my ear canals and getting stuck there. It's like, I actually cringe so much just thinking of it. Like, I just can't deal. Like, call me a baby for that, but yeah, you know, I hate ears. Like, that's just one thing about me, I just hate ears. But anyway, regardless, it should take anywhere between 6 and 12 months to fully heal. So just remember that in regards to changing your piercing and like fiddling with it and stuff, like try and leave it for that long. And this is all depending on how well you take care of it, how much you wash it, how much like you fiddle with it, and how good your immune system is in general. Like I said, I had my tragus done about 6 months ago, and it still flares up occasionally, but not too often at the moment, touch wood. And she still gets a little bit crusty sometimes, so healing really depends on the person. And now a little tip to help you along with your peeling process. To clean, soak twice a day with saline solution for the first 3 months, as demonstrated, and then maybe twice a week after the first 3 months. And don't over clean it, because it will wash away the good bacteria that is vital in your healing process. Saline solution is 1 teaspoon, aka 2.5 grams, of natural sea salt mixed into 1 cup or 8 ounces of warm water, and mix it up, put it on your piercing, and voila, you're good to go. And now for a couple of my personal tips. Make sure the ball is screwed on tight, because you don't want it falling into your ear. Don't fiddle with it. This will slow down the healing process to an extreme. Like, do not fiddle with it. Try and keep your hands off it. I know it's like a new thing you can play with, but just don't. If your hair's long like mine, avoid getting your hair caught in it. Just take extra care in the healing process when you're washing your hair. Just try and not catch it in your tragus piercing. And whatever you do, do not clean it with soap. You're not meant to use soap on piercings. Any piercing, just don't go there. And avoid sleeping on it for the first few weeks after you've got it pierced, just because this will slow down the healing process once again. Lastly, avoid going in a public swimming pool or a hot tub, getting it wet with that water, because those places have so much bacteria there, is dirty as fuck. Just don't go there. And just a little side note at the end, some people may not be physically able to get this piercing. For instance, some people don't even have traguses. Some people's traguses are too thick, some people's traguses are too small. Just consult with your piercer beforehand if you can get the piercing done. If not, there are plenty of other totally badass ear piercings you can always rock. And for heaven's sake, go to a professional piercer that uses a hollow needle. Do not go to a friend or an amateur or a piercing gun. Like, do not use a piercing gun for any piercing, especially a cartilage piercing, because they are just the devil. They are spawns of Satan. And even if it's cheaper, do you really want to risk your body, you risk your safety, just for a couple of pounds knocked off the price? Like, no, that's not a good idea. If it goes wrong, the gun can shatter your cartilage and you could end up with just completely fucked up ears for the rest of your life. So that's a nice ending note to leave it on, isn't it? So yes, that is all the tips and all the information I'll be sharing to you about my tragus, all my experiences and whatnot. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this a big thumbs up, and if you like my videos and want to see more, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell if you want to be notified whenever I upload, because who doesn't want to be told when there's an opportunity to see my lovely face and listen to my absolutely beautiful voice? I'm very excited because Lana's just released a couple of new songs, and I have the maddest theory that she's going to release another album. So I am very excited for that. And with that being said, you'll be seeing me in the next video. Bye guys.